It's now time for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. Well, Al, it doesn't look like many of us will be seeing a white Christmas this year. How are things shaping up as we head into the new year?
Well, Bryce, we've seen some wild weather across the state here this month, and we've seen it across the nation with the battle between the cold to our north and the warmth to our south. A little bit of moisture, perfect ingredients for severe weather, and that's what we've seen. The tornado reports that we were seeing initially that we reported last week, 8 tornadoes has now turned into at least 25 that I'm aware of, and may even go higher with the survey results. So a very widespread event for us. And that leads into what we are going to talk about. Since we are taping a little bit early, I do not want to bring the latest models because they're all over the place, but it does look like cold and stormy weather is in store as we move through the last week of the month into the first half of January. So I want to give you an update of what we think is going to happen as we go through the next 3 months. And the first thing I'll draw your attention to is that we still have that La Nina signal in place. Do have a very cold pocket of sea surface temperatures up in the Gulf of Alaska and a warm band moving in through the mid-Pacific. This is what's causing all the strength of these storms coming out of the Gulf of Alaska and impacting the western United States. At the same token, in the southern hemisphere, the currents that are feeding into the region where we were looking at La Nina with these below normal sea surface temperatures is being interrupted by this warm stretch. So we look for the dissipation of this pretty rapidly as we go through the next couple of months. And in fact, underneath the surface, the return currents are bringing the last big pulse of cold water right to the surface. So we're really peaking right now, and we're intensifying the warmth to the west. So this should overtake this region and start moving eastward as we go through the next couple months, bringing an end to primarily these La Nina conditions that we've been experiencing. In terms of all the global models, they're issuing the same type of a forecast as we go through to the spring period, that February, March, April, May period. We kind of convert over this minus 5 degrees Celsius below normal line. That puts us in ENSO neutral. And as we get into the later part of the summer, it looks like most of the models want to bring us into slight El Nino-like conditions, but not a full-blown El Nino. It's very possible, though, by the time you get to the end of the summer, we will have an El Nino alert possibly being issued if this trend continues. More importantly, if we take into consideration all of this in terms of the CPC forecast that was just issued for the next 3 months, still a very strong trend for below normal temperatures in the Pacific Northwest and below normal temperatures through the south central and southeastern United States, with Nebraska right caught between these two zones. In terms of precipitation, still continuing the above normal precipitation in the Pacific Northwest, Northern Rockies, and most of the Ohio River Valley, Great Lakes, and there has been some extension toward the west-southwest with this area. The key issue for me is that we're starting to see a trend change with big storms coming into the western United States. A lot of cold air with them. We've seen very strong systems, and we expect that to continue. So I would not be surprised that this next 30 to 45 days is going to be rather miserable across the country as we see many systems ejecting out of the western United States.